Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are in the world, and welcome to the final preseason race here for Rush Racing North America and Europe. I am your commentator and host for today, GameHawk, and we're going to be looking here for the final preseason race. And I'm going to be interested to see how this goes. The first preseason race that I did was very, very interesting, watching how all of these cars interact in real time. And I don't know, the qualifying was kind of interesting, but the race turned out to be kind of interesting and somewhat entertaining as we saw a lot of movement up and down the grid, mirroring a lot of what you see here in real life. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that will play out here, if we're going to see a little bit more of the same. We do have an 18-minute short qualifying, and then we will have a 50% race, 29 laps here around Bahrain. And if you guys are wondering, you guys can see everyone is now currently on that out lap. But if you guys are wondering why there is an AI, that is for Bookie. And actually, Bookie just joined in. So that is going to go ahead and fix that problem. And Bookie will join right in where the AI is and be able to just take over that spot. And it will be interesting. I've already had my limited experience using these new cars. The qualifying is really, really tough. I don't think you can really overstate that qualifying in these cars is very tough just because of the battery. And that is the real kind of, you can say, bane of these cars' existence, both in a competitive way and a bad way, because competitively it does kind of keep all the cars relatively closer together, but during qualifying it can really be the bane of your existence, because that can be the difference between getting pole position or getting ninth place. So you really have to be able to manage your battery in here in qualifying to be able to get the fastest times. And we'll see as the first laps right now of this qualifying are being set right now that Plum will currently have the fastest lap. Nope, take that back. 2A will have the fastest lap with a 128.5. And we'll see how the rest of the grid will stack up. Actually, look at that, Vide. And actually, I believe that Vide he's really the driver to watch here this season. In the one preseason race that I was here and able to commentate for, he was unbelievably fast. He unfortunately didn't end up winning the race because of an early race issue, or I believe it was contact and spun. And then he had to fight his way back up through the field. He still finished P4, I believe. But in qualifying, he was really laying down the law, as you would say. I mean, he was by far the fastest. And it looks like right now that trend is continuing. And we'll see, you can see that the times are being set up and down the grid. And actually here we'll go on board with Robert Lane. And we weren't able to go on board in the first preseason race that I did, which was kind of an issue that I just recently got a new Moza wheel. And what I didn't realize before loading in here, that it was turned to the left. which meant that anytime I went on board with this, it was automatically turning to the left, so you guys couldn't actually see the onboard. That was kind of my fault, so we didn't get to see it really in qualifying, but now we do get to see the onboard in qualifying, and you can actually get a good view of what they're doing in terms of battery management and just kind of the way you could throw these cars around. That from how these cars handle, it really feels like you can kind of pull the front of the car and throw it into the turns, but the rear is very, very loose going around some of these turns. And even in some turns, you can be completely stable, but still be almost sideways. And the Audi teammate of Robert Landon Divide, Robert Landon will get a 128.6 out of that lap. So a very good lap there. And actually, Bookie's going to set his own lap now. As, actually, funny enough, it gave Bookie a McLaren spot, but Norris is still technically in the race. So we'll see where the AI places. And maybe the AI will go away after qualifying. But we'll see where Bookie will place here. So far, we'll see here coming out of Sector 2 here for Bookie. We'll see right now where he places. So he does set a 108. It did say purple, so it might just be his first because of it being his first lap. But we will see. Actually, Vi did set a faster lap time than he actually did originally with a 127.9. And once again, he's backing up his speed. By far, he's been the fastest. And Bookie will go ahead and set a 130.3. And that will put him up into P9. And actually, look at this. Vi's actually on another outlap. So despite being half a tenth up on Enzo, he's actually already back on another outlap and ready to go. And now we'll see Vide. He's going to start his lap. I mean, we can go on board with him to see where his current pace is. Because, I mean, I don't think we can really overstate it enough. Right now, with how relatively new these regulations are, most of the drivers are still finding what kind of a pace that they can set, still figuring out setups. And I can definitely say that from experience. I'm still figuring out my own setups as well. And right now, it just looks like Vide, he just right now has that secret. He has what it takes to set fast lap times. And I mean, he's showing it right now that out of the first sector, he was a 10th up on his last time. So now heading through sector 2, he does have a car in front of him. So we'll see if the dirty air affects him. Actually, right now, the Red Bull's not getting out of the way, so maybe he's on a fast lap. Or no, actually, he's going to get a tow, and that is going to launch him past. That may have been on purpose from Enzo. Just staying in place and letting him go around. And now to the line is Vide, and he's going to be 2/10 up on his time with a 127.6. I mean, as we said, it's finding that pace. And right now, Vide has that pace. And actually, Senna will actually move up a little bit. Senna will move up into P10 with that last lap that they set. And now we'll see, believe he's going into the pits as we jump around and see. And actually, Jack is currently on a fast lap, so let's see where he places now. And he's going to be 0.3 up with a 129.2, so that will put him into P7 for the time being. And you can see right now these drivers who are currently on the fast lap. So actually right now, Panda is currently on a slowdown lap. And now we'll see, maybe Enzo will get a draft from his teammate. And now his teammate will peel out of the way to avoid impeding and qualifying. And around the final turn for Enzo. And Enzo will be 20 hundredths off of his previous time. So his previous time is still the current fastest. And 2A will actually come out behind Enzo as we hit 5.5 minutes here remaining in qualifying. You can see roughly half the field right now in the pit lane, or will now actually be on their own fast lap. And I'm kind of curious to see where some of these drivers will end up. I'm curious to see what this lap will look like for 2A. As you can see, 2A is thousands off of Enzo, that they are basically neck and neck. So I'm curious to see. Enzo was not able to improve on his last time. So I'm curious to see if 2A will be able to improve on his time and possibly move into that top 3. And right now, still the question too, does anyone have the pace that Vide is showing? So far, it really has looked like Vide has been in a class by himself, essentially. And it's going to be really curious to see during the preseason race if that pace continues into the race, or maybe it's just qualifying pace. And going across the line, and 2A is going to improve by 0.3 and move up to a 128.2. That is really going to be beneficial, and that is once again going to put the other drivers behind him under pressure. And you can see Enzo is already out on his outlap, which by the time he gets back around, that will be his last lap. So as we go through the grid, I believe that Bookie will be the next one. Yeah, Bookie will be the next one to set an actual lap time. So we'll see where Bookie will place. I believe that's Vide behind him. Or, yeah, that's Vide behind him. So now we'll see where Bookie will place. He's running out of fuel, but he's going to go for it to the line. And Bookie improves by 4/10, but only will get him up into P10. So that will be an improvement, but maybe just not enough. And now we'll see where Robert Lannon will place with a minute and a half. And this is going to be it. And Robert Lannon to the front row, minus 4/10 off his time. And that is going to make it an all Audi front row. As now 2A coming around, I believe that he's going. Oh no, he's going to go for another lap. So he's actually going to get another opportunity. We'll see maybe where these Racing Bulls will place. I do believe, yeah, the Mercedes is on an out lap. We'll see. I believe that is the Alpine. Yes, that is the Alpine of Plum. And oh, Jack is going to peel out of the way. So he messed up his lap. So we'll see maybe if he's going to go for it again. We'll see. Was that Senna? It might have been Senna. Yeah, Senna going around the last time. He's going to go ahead and start his lap as the clock is winding down. And for a lot of people, this is going to be it. So Vide invalidated. So he may still have an opportunity. And now 2A running low on fuel. This may be his opportunity with 9 seconds to go and counting. Bookie will retire. Vide is actually going to get the lap in. He's going to have time. Robert Lannon had to peel out of the way, so his lap time will stand where it is. Enzo will finish in P5. Badger in P9. And then Bookie right now in P10 and Kaizu in P13. Now 2A around the last turn. This is going to be his lap time. Where is he going to place? It's going to be the same. 3/10 slower than his last time. So he will stay right where he is. And now coming across the line, John DT will actually overtake his teammate. Go up into P13. Panda will retire in P12. And now that's going to be the Mercedes of Baz. To the line. Does he have an improvement? He does! To the front row. Minus 4/10. So now does Plum have a response? To the line. Does Plum have a response? He does shave time off, but he's going to miss out. And that's Senna behind him to the line. Senna will improve by 1/10 and overtake Panda. And now the Racing Bull of Jack, he will not make it. He will remain in 7th. Double A will be in P8, and Vide will be the last one on track around the last turn. Does he have an improvement? No, he will just peel into the pits, and that will do it for qualifying. So it won't be an Audi front row. It'll in fact be an Audi and Mercedes front row. As Vide with the fastest time, Baz in P2, and then Robert Lannon in P3. A very close and competitive qualifying session. And that will wrap up qualifying as we go ahead and go back through the starting lineup here for the preseason race. In pole position will be Vide, who will continue his domination right now. Baz in P2, Robert Lannon P3, 2A P4, Enzo P5, Plum P6, Jack P7, Double A P8, Badger P9, Bookie P10, Senna in P11, Panda P12, John DT P13, Kaizu in P14, and then the AI, that's who Bookie replaced. And that will be our starting lineup here for the preseason race. And actually, we're going to have basically... So this is going to be kind of interesting. We're going to basically have almost a Formula 2 style race. Where, you know, Formula 2 usually doesn't race at the same time that Formula 1 does. So this will be in the morning instead of at night. And honestly, I'm kind of down for it. I'm kind of curious to see what Bahrain will look like kind of during the daytime. As the drivers will, there we go. We were able to make sure that Kaizu got back in. And the drivers will pick their strategy. It is a 50% race that it will be 29 total laps. And kind of interesting, in the first preseason race that we did, it wasn't, I wouldn't necessarily, it was a hard compound dominated race, but it felt a lot more balanced than what we really came to see with the 2025 cars. That the hard compound by far did obviously last the longest, and I don't think anyone ever would deny that, but the mediums did go longer than expected. You could say that it is because of Bahrain, but at the same time, in the 25 cars, usually the medium tires only lasted maybe 10 laps, like 10 laps in their best life cycle. But we had a couple drivers that took them 13 laps and still were looking good until they pitted. So maybe it's still an option to use a medium compound or a softer compound a little bit more loosely than maybe what you would have in the previous races. So I'm curious to see if that trend is going to continue, or maybe we'll see a continuation of the hard compound dominating the strategy. And as we currently, well, as soon as I was going to say something, I will just be quiet and we will go ahead and start the race. And it's lights out here in Bahrain as we will go ahead and get started. It didn't look like a great start for Vide, but Vide is going to chop across and maintain the inside advantage. Baz is going to go around the outside, a little bit of a lockup. Now there's contact. Vide will remain on the track. We are almost 5 wide as now the ghosting is taking effect and we have a Red Bull off in the background. As now you can see the Mercedes of Baz and Robert Landon side by side still going. And it looks like maybe a move to the inside won't do it. As you can see people side by side, a sign gets broken in the background. As now maybe moving here, Plum going to the outside, another lockup from 2A, but 2A is going to try and maintain that advantage. He does, and oh, contact behind. Senna is going to move, but he's going to remain on the track, but will lose several positions for it. And now more contact. And Senna's going to get the 3-second time penalty for corner cutting around that turn with the contact. And actually, he's missing part of his front wing as far as I can see. So that is not going to help his case whatsoever. As right now, Robert Landon still holding on to that lead as we head down through Sector 3. As you can see, everyone already filed into single file formation. Now, actually, maybe a move here from the Alpine. Did Plum get through? He did, but just barely. But Plum will move up into P3, but I'm curious to see how that's going to affect. And now here comes 2A with the same battery. down the inside for the Alpine. And actually now the inside, and oh, there's contact. Two-way made contact with Baz, and now still side by side with the Alpine. And now two-way is going to be able to go ahead, and now still on that run. Now to the inside, I thought I saw contact back here. It looks like we are still good. Still moving. Oh, Vide has fallen all the way down to P5. So still trying to bounce up and down the grid, trying to get back up. As his teammate Robert Lannon still leads the race. We'll go on board here with the Alpine of Plum as he's trying to chase down two-way right now. And you can see just how much that battery does drain. As now maybe 2A slightly better at managing the battery. As trying to chase him down, he's going to run out of battery. So maybe not being able to make a move, but we will see down this front stretch here. Will either Baz or 2A be able to make a move? You can see the fastest lap going side by side. And now to the inside, there goes Baz. Down to the inside of Robert Lannon. Is he going to make the move stick? Down the inside, still side by side, switches to the outside, and Robert Lannon. What a great job by him to maintain the lead. But now here comes 2A, trying to chase down, but now Mercedes to the outside, making the move at the same time. All these cars so close together. I'm shocked that we haven't seen much more contact than what we've gotten so far. And now we do have a caution in sector 1. We don't really see anything, so we should be good as we will continue back racing. So Robert Lannon will continue to maintain that lead. And as a reminder, this is the last preseason race for North America EU in Rush Racing, and a lot of these drivers, this is their last opportunity of showing how fast that they can be. Some of these drivers fighting for Division 1 spots, as you guys may know that we have 2 divisions in North America EU, and these drivers will definitely fight for those positions. And now Robert Lannon able to hold on to it, but now maybe movement here. And again, a great job there by Baz to hold on to that place. And is able to remain in P2. And actually, you guys can see here, as we look at what tires the grid is currently using, overwhelming consensus starting on the mediums. And I can guess, depending on maybe how far these tires will go, we'll see if they choose to switch to another pair of mediums. Or maybe we'll see some drivers try the audacious one stop. We've seen it done here before. We haven't seen anyone do it here in these regulation of cars. Still curious nonetheless. Oh, and now actually we may have movement back here, as now Plum has fallen back away from the group, the top 3, but now Vide is right on his wing as Vide wants to get back, and he is showing that he's got that raw pace. And now we'll see, is he going to be able to make the move down here out of the sector 3? He thought about it. He thought better, as now we head around the final turn, and now this will be the real moment, trying to break that slipstream. The Alpine is going to go to the inside, but now trying to just maintain that lead. And will it matter? Vide down the inside, a little bit of contact for the move. Does Vide hold on to it? And Vide will be able to hold on to it. And oh wait, never mind. Maybe a little bit of movement here. Plum chasing down Vide side by side as we head through the straight mode zone. A little bit more contact. Now to the inside, now switching to the outside. Will Vide more contact? Will Vide be able to hold on to it? And he will for right now. Movement up and down the grid, up and down the track. As right now, this top three will remain unchanged. As you can see, they're kind of all stuck. Basically stuck together, but I am curious to see if Vide is going to be able to close that 3-second gap. And we'll go on board here with 2A. As you can see, the battle for the lead is going on. I mean, all three of these drivers, actually, sorry, all five, the top five here, they qualified in the top five. So you can see who has the best raw pace. And now Robert Landon, a little bit of movement, maybe trying to break the slipstream, but it won't matter as he will maintain the lead. Oh, but maybe a little bit of a squirrely moment there from 2A and Robert Landon, as now Baz holding on to the outside. Is he going to make the move? He is side by side. Oh, but a little bit of squirrely, and that's going to bring 2A back into the fight, and everyone will remain right where they were. So far down the grid, no movement quite yet. And you can see that is what the gap is right there from Robert Landon to Baz and 2A, who are trying to chase him down. And now we do have a caution. And Senna's going to get a penalty. And actually, I believe that might have been the AI. That the AI was the result of that caution. And now down the front stretch, we'll see maybe is someone going to be able to make the move here. Robert Landon remaining right there. Didn't move to break the toe. Still moving in to guard the inside. So now will Baz go around the outside? He will for right now. Ooh, he overshot the turn. So Robert Landon will remain in the lead, and 2A is going to overtake Baz and go into P2. So overshooting turn one results in the loss of a position as a little bit of a reshuffle, and 2A will take over P2. And now Plum is actually going to get his first penalty after multiple track limits warnings, as we are currently here on lap 7, about to go into lap 8. And actually, by this time in the first preseason race, I believe that we had a safety car. And we'll see if maybe more of this dance will continue down the front stretch. We'll go on board with 2A. He's got one guy behind him, one in front of him. And he is a little bit far away from Baz. If we turn around, actually Baz is looking to make the move. Maybe looking around the outside. Is it going to be there? 2A making a little bit of a move, still holding on to the inside. They're side by side. Who's going to take over second place? They're still side by side. Are they going to hold on to it? Going around the turn, and it will be Baz who will come out on top. And oh, maybe a little bit of a slow moment. So now that opens the door once again for 2A, as 2A is on the wing of Baz, as now they actually are outside of the 1 second overtake mark. As now maybe Robert Landon trying to secure that. No, a caution I believe that was Senna who went wide at the last turn, but he does get back on track, so that will be fine. No caution yet. Kaizu will pit and put on a fresh set of mediums. And so far as we've seen, the mediums have looked pretty well so far. So far, just about 8 laps done here on the mediums. No signs of pitting quite yet. Curious to see how that will come into play, especially for these 3 leaders. Oh, and a little bit of an overshot, but stays in. And actually, Vide and Lannon will pit. So actually, this is going to be kind of interesting. Lannon, I believe, pit first. So that meant a slow double stack, as that probably affected Vide. I don't know if that was the plan, if they were planning to pit at the same time. But now Baz will be the de facto leader. So both Lannon and Vide will go on to the new mediums. Bookie will go on to the new mediums. Double A actually will go on to the new hards. So interesting strategy call from different drivers. And we'll see kind of how this all will balance out. I'm curious to see if there's going to be a response from Baz or from 2A. If either one of them are going to pit. And this will be the real deciding factor. We'll see if they respond. Coming around the final turn of Sector 3, we'll see. One does not. Baz does not make movement, but 2A does. So 2A will decide to pit. Baz will retain the lead. Plum actually will move into P2. We'll see how many positions that 2A will lose. Enzo and Jack are going to pit. We'll see if Badger will not. Lannon will move up into P4 now. So it was a little bit of a slow stop for 2A. 2A coming back out onto the track. And now Vide coming down the straight. Vide's going to actually get past 2A. And 2A will come out of the pits in P6. So now Baz has a 10-second buffer between him and Plum. Or sorry, a 19-second buffer between him and Robert Lannon. So I would not be shocked to see if they pit. And actually, also another interesting strategy call. Enzo onto the new mediums. Jack onto the new mediums. 2A onto the new hard. So it looks a little bit more split. It looks a little bit, the strategy call looks a little bit more divisive than maybe what it was in the past. And now we'll see. Here's going to be the question. Is he going to pit? No, he does not. He continues. And actually, here's the problem. He's pulling a bigger gap away from Plum, but Robert Lannon is closing in on Plum. So instead of now a 19-second gap, he's now down to a 17-second gap. So interesting decision not to pit there. And actually, you can see right there, Robert Lannon with the fastest time. Actually, we'll look, and actually here you can see some side-by-side action. A group of 4 here, as all these drivers have so far pit already. So now we'll see if there's going to be a move down here into turn 1. Enzo chasing down Double A. Is he going to make the move? He's going to go to the outside. They're side-by-side. Now Bookie's going to make a move on the inside as well. And a little bit of a lockup from both of them, going a little deep into the turn, still holding. And the Racing Bull's going to be able to hold on. And now look at Bookie. Bookie holding on as well, and he's going to get the best run out of all of them. 3 wide, heading out of the straight mode zone. Movement from Enzo trying to keep that car on the track. Still 3 wide as we head down through, and oh, a little bit of contact, maybe glitching there. as Double A will retain P7, Bookie retaining, and now look, that'll bring the Racing Bull of Jack into the mix. As we see all four of them fighting side by side, and actually Enzo's the biggest loser as Jack is going to overtake him into P9, but Jack will get a 3-second warning. Oh, and now here's the choosing. The choice has been made. Baz into the pits. Does Plum go into the pits? And he will not. So Plum will go into the Plum will continue. Baz is going to go on to the hard tires. Robert Landon will get past Baz. Where will Baz come back out? That is the AI of Norris. We don't have to worry about that. Badger will go in for a pit stop as well. And now is Baz going to get out? And he's going to get out just behind Vide. So he will retain his top 4 place with the freshest tires. And crucially, he is ahead of 2A. And you can see already that Robert Landon is slowly closing down that gap on Plum. I think Plum may actually be going for that audacious one-stop challenge. Trying to go as long as he can on those mediums. Oh, and now that is not going to help. And oh, I believe he has a puncture. Or maybe that might be, oh no, I believe that he has a puncture. Yes, Plum has a left front puncture on his tire. You guys can see it there on the onboard. If I go ahead and remove this, you guys can see the puncture on the left. So that means that Robert Landon is going to easily take over the lead, and this is gonna force Plum to take the pit stop. And we can look here at the penalties. Currently, Plum has 6 seconds. Jack has 3. Double A has 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So if he pits again, he can get rid of that. Bookie with 3. Senna with 12. Kaizu, Panda, and John all with 3 as well. So Plum will pit. Vide into P2. Baz into P3. 2A will move into P4. Jack looks like, and now this is going to be crucial for Plum. And now Plum is going to get the pit stop going. He does put on the hard tires, but where does he come out? You can see this whole grid coming out behind him. Where is he going to come out? He's going to crucially be behind all of them. Despite having the freshest tires, he's going to fall down to 9th and be behind this convoy of cars that are all still fighting for position. And right now, both Audis currently leading the race. But we saw that, I mean, Plum went 12 laps, or essentially 13 laps on those mediums. All these drivers have one more stop at least. So then the question is going to become, when are they going to pit? And I can imagine that they're probably going onto the hard compound to finish out the race. And Senna is going to get another 3-second time penalty. And sorry, that is the AI car of Norris. Ooh, and Kaizu is going to leave. Oh, and now Double A is going to go into the pits, and he gets another 10-second penalty. So interesting decision there, and Double A will retire in the pits, so that will save the field from a caution. I'll see if I can get Kaizu back in here. But Double A is going to be our first retirement of the race. And actually, look at this. Baz has actually caught up to Vide. So this could be an interesting battle, especially with the fact that they could end up having to pit one more time. And I'm going to be curious. We'll see maybe... Is there going to be movement? And actually, he might have a move down to the inside. Does Baz have the move? And now the question will be, is Vide going to respond? He did have a little bit of a better entrance into the turn, but it looks like Baz will hold on for right now as we head into the next straight mode zone. Is there going to be movement? No, Baz will hold on to P2 for now. He will overtake the pole sitter, and Vide is going to get his first time penalty for track limits violations. So that is going to make his race substantially harder. And Baz will retain P2 for right now. And actually, maybe more movement. Actually, you can see how quickly Vide closed down that gap. So John DT will get a 3-second time penalty. I believe that's his second time penalty. Yes, that is his second time penalty. Ooh, and now Vide's going to go wide, and that is probably going to ruin his chances. And actually, look at this. So, interesting decision here. 7-lap old medium tires. Vide will go ahead and pit. Senna's going to get his own 3-second time penalty. So, with this pit stop, that is going to put Vide behind this crowd of cars. Not ideal, but also not something that's something we've seen Vide do. And actually, he's going to get out. Is he going to get ahead of Bookie? He's going to be side by side with Bookie down to turn 1. And crucially, he's going to get at least ahead of Bookie. So that's going to help Vide out at least a little bit, as he will remain in P7 for right now. And currently, that is our closest gap so far between cars. Oh, and now there's the decision there. Robert Landon into the pit, so Baz will retake the lead. 2A back into P2. Crucially, where will this put Robert Landon? Once again, the same thing with Vide. He actually might have a little bit better of a time than Vide did. You can see Vide right there, actually. Vide looking to make a move on Plum. And now a little bit of contact as Vide will get around. But now where will Robert Landon come out? Robert Landon actually crucially got ahead of Enzo. So Robert Landon will retain P3. Vide moves into P6. And now you can already see Enzo is still right behind Robert Landon. So Robert Landon can't exactly relax yet. So now we'll see, and actually you can see already Vide past Jack and up into P5. So I'm curious to see when will Enzo pit, and we can see how long these hard tires will carry Baz in 2A. And that is, I believe, the Haas of Kaizu. Yes, that is the Haas of Kaizu, who I did send an invite to, but we'll see. Maybe he's still having issues. We can send him one more invite to make sure that he at least has a chance to get back in if he wants to. Oh, and now Enzo's going to get his first time penalty. That's his first time penalty of the race. And I actually believe that crucially, Robert Landon, 2A, and Baz all do not have time penalties, and that's really going to serve them here as we are more than halfway through this race. There's still no movement necessarily down the grid. Most of all the drivers are currently fairly split. Yeah, fairly split out. Actually, Robert Landon will now get the fastest lap, and Enzo will peel into the pits. So he's going to at least fall to P7. As Plum and Jack will pass it. Oh no, Jack actually peeled into the pits as well. Enzo will get a good pit stop into a fresh set of hard tires. So he actually might be able to get ahead of Badger, which Badger's heading down the front stretch. Is he going to get ahead and down to the line? He will. So Enzo will be ahead of Angry Badger and remain in P6 with a fresh set of hard tires. So now here's going to be the question. 2A actually did pit earlier than Baz when going onto the hard tires. And it looks like so far for the medium tires, 9 laps has been the overall consensus. How long are these hard tires going to go? So far, the oldest lap tires we have is 2A with 9 lap old hard tires. So far, still no movement, but Baz is keeping a good, healthy distance of 5 seconds. You can see 2A fighting past both Haas drivers as both of them are now a lap down. So it's still going to be a question, but I will say too, despite pitting, Robert Landon really hasn't made up much of a gap to trying to catch up to 2A. So once again, here with 8 laps to go, I'm still kind of wondering, it's going to come down to whether 2A or Baz pit. That is really going to be what the deciding factor is for this race. And you can see so far, still not really any movement. You can see, I mean, the closest gap that we currently have is Kaizu to John. And actually, good news, I believe that he was, I don't know if he was able to rejoin in. Maybe not. That might be, no, never mind. Yes, Kaizu was able to join back in. So right now, a second between the two Haas drivers is the closest gap that we have right now. And it's still really going to come down to whether or not Baz and 2A pit. Because if they don't pit, that means that they successfully pulled off a one-stopper here at a 50% race at Bahrain. If they don't, that opens the door for Robert Lannon clean and wide open. And so far, 12 laps for 2A, 10 laps for Baz on those hard tires. They aren't showing any signs of slowing down. And now maybe a little bit of movement. Kaizu's still trying to chase him down, as he's still trying to chase down his own teammate. And actually, if you want a good indication of the distance, oh, we got a caution. I believe, yeah, that was Norris. So the AI had spun. So kind of interesting that the AI can kind of spin on its own and almost caused a safety car. But actually, surprisingly too, we have not seen a safety car so far today, which I'm kind of surprised about, that we haven't seen a safety car. We saw, I believe, 2 safety cars in the last one. Oh, and now crucially, 2A is going to pit. 2A will dive into the pits. 13 laps on the hard tires. Robert Lannon is going to fly past 2A. Now Vide is going to come down and pass 2A. And now he's going to put on a fresh set of mediums. He will fall, and it looks like he's going to be just getting out ahead of Plum. So 2A is going to remain in P4. So now an interesting decision here. Baz now with an 11.5-second gap above Robert Lannon. Does he remain here or does he pit? Oh, and now movement, and he finally did it. Kaizu overtaking his teammate and moving up into P12, and actually still movement here as John TT is still chasing him down. And once again, crucially, Vide has still not been able to really make up any ground on his teammates. So right now, this race is going to come completely down to if Baz pits. That's literally what is going to decide this race. If he's going to do the one stop and make it to the end, he's going to win this race because he's 11 seconds ahead. And Lannon is somewhat making time, but he's not making up an astronomical amount of time. But if he pits, that's just going to hand Lannon the win. But ooh, how about that? I was just double checking. Actually, John DT overtook Kaizu once again. So the two Haas at the bottom of the leaderboard will continue to fight it out. And now we do have a caution. Oh, so Norris is out of the race. So Norris had an engine failure. So the AI will have an engine failure. Is that going to cause a caution, or is he going to go into the pits? So no, he will stop off the track. So nothing right now. It is just a local caution on the front stretch. Is it going to be anything more, or is it going to cause a safety car? So still nothing, still a local yellow. So now sector 1. Oh, and Bookie spun. Bookie will start going back again on sector 1. We'll finally get going, so that will clear it up. And crucially, no safety car, as we are currently here on lap 25 out of 29. As we are closing in down to the end of the race, 13 laps on those old hard tires. Will Baz be able to hold on for right now? And actually now, I was talking about it earlier that 2A wasn't making up ground. Robert wasn't making up ground. He's definitely making up ground now, as originally he was at 11 seconds. Now he's at 8.3. So maybe the old hard tires starting to get to him. Badger's going to get his first time penalty of the race. And actually now 2A, he's slowly caught up to Vide as well. And now, and now Bookie's going to retire, and that's going to be a safety car. And you can see they break. So now, and he crashed into the wall. He crashed into the wall, and I can imagine everyone is going to dive into the pits. So now, yes, you can see it, everyone diving into the pits. Both McLarens are out. And that just shook up this race. Robert will be into the pits. I can imagine Vide will be into the pits as well. And Vide spun! He spun going out of the turn. So now he's going to go into the pits quickly to save up on lost time, as 2A is going to close down behind him, avoiding the penalty. So now you can see Panda, and you can see Panda and Senna will go past, and then you can see them lead. And now Plum into the pits, Enzo into the pits. I can imagine Badger will be into the pits. So it is going to be maybe a 2-lap showdown to the end. This is going to be the real call. Baza has led this race by strategy. By picking the correct strategy at the right time, and that is how he was leading this race. Arguably, Lannon and Vide have had the faster overall raw pace. And then right there, you can't even discount 2A, who's also shown his raw pace here so far. So this could be a very interesting showdown. And the grid is still reforming right now. We've seen weirder moments where all of a sudden the safety car will dive into the pits. Is now going into the pits. And now you can see the lap car going around. John DT will go into the pits. Kaizu will go around the safety car as a lapped car. They will let the lap car pass. So now we will continue one more lap. It looks like it is going to be a 2-lap showdown between the top drivers here. as we come down through Sector 2, start of Sector 3, the lights on the safety car are still on. There's only a couple cars that are still out of formation. So there it is. There's the command. Safety car is in this lap. So now Baz will take control of the field. Everyone on that soft tire going as quick as they possibly can here in this 2-lap showdown. Right now, the drivers in the best position is Baz, Robert, and Vide. Will he go? When is he going to go? He's going to decide to just go right now. As our green flag is in the air and we are back underway. It didn't look like Baz got a great head start, but it looked like Landon was right behind him as we head down to turn 1, trying to break the slipstream. To the inside goes Robert Landon. Is he going to hold it? He locks up, making him go wide. Baz still there on the inside, unable to hold. Robert goes off track, and he will have the lead for right now, trying to break the slipstream. Here comes Baz once again, but not going to be able to make the move, and maybe out of the turn. Still trying to chase down Landon and remain right behind him if anything goes wrong. And now you can see 2A making a move on Vide as well. So now you can see side by side. Now Vide is going to make the move. Vide is going to make the move on Baz. It is an Audi 1-2. As Vide, despite the 3-second time penalty, is going to be able to maintain P2 for right now. So now heading down the straight, you can imagine maybe being teammates that Vide may run interference. Already almost a second gap between Landon and Vide. As you can see the Mercedes up, Baz dropping behind. 2A now closing in on Baz. Is he going to lose one more position? And now he's going to go a little bit wide. So now 2A is going to have a little bit of movement. Is he going to make the move now, or is he going to wait? Down here, he'll wait. So now here we go. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. As Robert Landon will lead it and have the fastest lap. Vide in P2, Baz in P3. So now look at this. Baz to the inside. Vide will guard the inside. To the middle. Vide is going to have a really bad entrance. So now it looks like Baz is going to have a better head start. 2A still behind him as well. Are they going to make the move as we head down through the straight mode zone contact? And that's a loose end plate for the Mercedes. Baz is going to lose it. And now there goes 2A. 2A is going to sneak past both Vide and Baz into P2. And now Vide will switch back as well. And contact, they're both it. 2A and Baz are out. Vide will take over P2. And now Enzo on the outside of Vide. And now Enzo has a real shot at this. Everyone has a penalty, so they are all fighting side by side. It's the Alpine of Plum as well. Enzo will secure P3 for right now to the inside of Vide. Is he going to be able to hold on for right now? He's still there, giving each other just enough room. So now to the inside. Is Enzo going to make the move now? He's still on the inside, still trying to hold that. And now trying to break the slipstream, making the move there. And now you can see it'll be a race, and Robert Landon will be the winner of the preseason race. You can see in the background, it's going to be a drag race to the line. Is it going to be Vide? It's going to be Vide. And then 2A is going to get P2 off of the penalties. Unbelievable. 2A was able to keep his foot in the door, and he's going to get P2 off of the penalties. Unbelievable finish. As now Senna will come home in P9, and then Panda will come home here in P11. Kaizu in Panda in P10, Kaizu in P11, and then John in P12. Barring the penalties, barring the penalties, we'll see. John DT was a lap down. So now we'll see Panda will come home in P10. And Kaizu will come home here in P11. Unbelievable finish. And this was just preseason. Can you believe that? This was only preseason. And we had a fantastic battle all the way to the end. But Robert Lannon is going to claim the win here today with 2A in P2 and then Vide in P3. Unbelievable race. And now you can check it out here. Robert Landon, our race winner and fastest lap. Enzo will get driver of the day, most overtakes. And then Robert Landon will get the cleanest driver award. So now here is your final results here in Bahrain. Robert Landon will come home with the win. 2A in P2, Vide in P3, Enzo P4, Baz in P5, Badger P6, a great result for him. Jack in P7, Plum in P8, Senna P9, Panda P10, Kaizu P11, John P12, Bookie P13, Norris, the AI actually will finish in P14, and then Double A will finish in P15. Unbelievable preseason race, an unbelievable finish. And I don't know if you really could have asked for anything more when wrapping up preseason here for Rush Racing North America EU. That is going to do it for us here today, as we appreciate everyone coming in and watching, showing your love and support. We hope to see you guys here for our first race of the 2026 season. All the drama, everything will lead to that. And we hope to see you then for that incredible race. We hope to see you there, but if we don't, we hope that you guys have a great day, a great night, wherever you guys are in the world, and we will see you for round 1 of North America EU Rush Racing League.